but it's also great for stomach issues because it protects the stomach walls. All right, so here we have my breakfast. Jack has COVID. Shadow has a whole lot to say today about that. Good morning guys, it's Lara and Shadow. Thank you all for watching and welcome back to our channel. So today we're doing a what I eat in a day video. As always, all the meals that you're gonna see are 100% plant-based and everything is also suitable for people who are dealing with chronic gastritis. So if that's something you're interested in, then please keep watching. We arrived in the park and we are about to go on our morning walk with Shadow. That's gonna take about 1.5 hours. So normally during any season when I don't have to worry about the temperatures in the morning, I would always have my breakfast first, and during that time Shadow always sleeps and then we go out. But today I decided to go right away without having anything for breakfast because sometimes the park gets very crowded, especially on a beautiful day like that, and I'm just not ready to deal with too many people today. So I brought something to eat with me. One thing I learned through chronic gastritis is that it's always best to have at least something small in my stomach. Otherwise it would get irritated if I were hungry. So I brought this chocolate soy milk. That's something during the time when my gastritis was at the worst point would not agree with my stomach, but over time as my stomach started healing I was able to drink this again. So that's what I had first. And I also brought this banana. Now this banana is very ripe. I actually don't enjoy that ripe bananas so much, but I have still a few at home and I don't like wasting food, so I'm gonna have it. But if I could help it, it wouldn't be so brown because then it smells very strongly. I guess some people would say that it's a nice smell. For me, it's just too much. I like bananas just before they get these dots. That's just my preference. Mr. Bushytail is reading P-mail. Alright, so we are done with our morning walk. It was beautiful and we are about to go shopping because I need food for Shadow. I took yesterday the last package out of the freezer, and before we go I'll have a sip of water. So I brought with me plain tap water with 1 slice of lemon. That's something I enjoy and it's also very mild for the stomach. Ever since I got the chronic gastritis, I've been usually drinking herbal teas. So my favorite teas were mint tea, chamomile tea, or mallow tea, or ginger turmeric tea. But at some point I couldn't even smell them anymore. I got so tired of them. And tap water is still the best choice. I personally like adding at least 1 slice of lemon simply for the taste. Otherwise it gets a little boring. We are back at home. So first I, as always, fed Shadow and then I brushed his fur, and now he went out into the yard because he enjoys the cold weather and he simply likes laying outside and snoozing, and I'm about to make my breakfast. I'm going to have a mallow root tea, so this is what it looks like, this light cloudy liquid. This is a tea that's being prepared cold, so I always take 1 spoon of mallow root and put it into this small strainer, and then I place the strainer on a glass and fill it up with cold water, and that needs to sit for at least 30 minutes, but it can be also prepared overnight. The longer the mallow root sits in the water, the more intense the taste will be. So if someone doesn't particularly like this taste, then they would probably let it sit for only 30 minutes to 1 hour. It's great for people that have a cold, but it's also great for stomach issues because it protects the stomach walls. This tea has been recommended to me by a lady in our pharmacy, and it helped me a lot, especially when I was going off the medication, and now I still occasionally drink it in the morning before I'll have my breakfast. Here we have my oats. It's actually a very simple recipe. So I put in 1 scoop of a mixture of oats and millet. I love millet. It's very nutritious and it's really good for you. It has many minerals. Then I added 1 tablespoon of ground nuts, 1 tablespoon of goji berries, and then spices, a bit of cardamom and quite a lot of cinnamon because I like it. First, when my gastritis started, I would add a 2nd scoop of the oat and millet mixture, but now, since I'm physically quite active and since my stomach is doing much better, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla protein powder and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seed protein powder. But if you just started dealing with gastritis and your stomach is very sensitive, instead of the protein powder, I would rather add an additional scoop of the oats and millet. Now all that has been soaked overnight in freshly squeezed orange juice. If that's too much for your stomach, you can soak it in plant milk instead. And in the morning I warmed it up shortly and I added 2 tablespoons of plant yogurt. Then I grabbed 4 medium-sized strawberries and I chopped them on the top, and I sprinkled also on the top hemp seeds. I will write the recipe in the video description. And by the way, I just remembered, I actually forgot to tell you that there's also a 1 tablespoon of flax seeds. I'm usually switching between flax seeds and chia seeds. Alright, so here we have my breakfast. I also made myself a tea. It's a rooibos tea with vanilla and chocolate flavor. Absolutely lovely. So I used to love black tea in the morning, but that's an absolute no-go for gastritis. No black tea, no coffee, and rooibos tea is actually really great in that case. I went shortly to the office to check the mailbox, and then I went to the store and then straight back home. So I'll be working now a little bit, and then my plan is to hang my boxing bag, and I want to train a little bit and stretch afterwards. So I'm working this week from at home because Jack has COVID. So we are both 3 times vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. But last week he started feeling poorly, so we thought he should test just to be sure, because being vaccinated doesn't mean that you can't get COVID. It's only less likely that the symptoms would be really bad. And he tested positive. So that's the status in House Wolf Moon. I'm super happy. I'm negative so far, especially since I'm having tomorrow a doctor's appointment for which I have been waiting for about a month. Tomorrow I'm going to an ophthalmologist. So first of all, I've been having very often conjunctivitis recently. I think I'm part of the problem because I'm very often touching my face, and whenever something falls into my eye, I just go straight in with my filthy fingers and don't even think about it. So I need to work on my habits. And second, I need to get my eyes checked for my prescription glasses and contacts. The last time I had that done, I did it in a store here in the area, and when I got my new glasses, they ended up being just way too strong. And whenever I put them on, everything seems so tiny, and I feel like I have zero orientation skill when I put them on. I feel confused. It's just so weird and it doesn't feel right. So I thought next time someone's gonna check my eyes for my glasses and for my contacts, it needs to be an eye specialist who 100% knows what they're doing. And yeah, so I'm glad that I'm still negative so that I can go to my appointment. Otherwise I would have to wait for probably at least a few more weeks. And I definitely need to get my eyes checked because they're still so itchy. So I've been running with these old glasses for the last few weeks, and the conjunctivitis always got better, but it always comes back. So that needs to be checked. And I really need to stop touching my face and putting sticky, filthy fingers into my damn eyes. So I'm gonna continue sipping on this lovely tap water with 2 lemon slices, and I'll be working a little bit, and then I'll do some boxing. Alright, so I changed. Jack was up and helped me to hang the boxing bag. So there is my sick boxing coach. And there's my biggest fan, Mr. Bushytail. It's 4 degrees Celsius, the perfect weather to skip the rope outside. So after I skip the rope for a few minutes, I'll go back inside. I'll do a bit of shadow boxing just to practice technique. And then I'll do a few rounds on the back. Hi guys, so this is future Laura. A very important thing to say before we go on with this video. Training close to a person who has COVID is like the dumbest, literally the dumbest thing I could have done. So first of all, Jack should have kept more distance, and second, he should have been wearing a mask. And while I was training, he shouldn't have been in the same room at all, retrospectively, because when you're training, you breathe in a little bit larger volume usually. And that kind of enhances the chance of getting infected. So of course, a few days later, I ended up having COVID myself. So that was not the smartest thing to do. So I do acknowledge that this was a mistake. So if you're in a situation like we are, if you live in the same household and one person has COVID, make sure that you keep the contact to a minimum. Try to keep distance of at least 2 meters, and the person who is infected should be wearing a mask whenever they're in contact with you so that you don't get infected yourself. I will be filming a video about my experience with COVID once I healed, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and now let's jump back to today's video.
1-1. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby.
Looks like I won't be boxing today because Shadow has a whole lot to say today about that. Normally he would lay down on the sofa and doesn't pay me any attention, but today he's not okay with that.
Nice. Push it across. There you go. That's much better across. Snap it back. Snap it back. Use your hips and pull it back with your body, not with your arms. There you go.
Alright, so I'm done with my training for today. I did just a few rounds on the back. It was 6 rounds in total, and before that a few rounds of shadow boxing. Shadow calmed down at some point, and Jack kept an eye on me and corrected me and gave me a few tips so that I can improve. It was a lot of fun, and now I'll be stretching. Now I'm about to prepare my dinner. So first I have here this leftover soup. This is such a lovely soup. I have a recipe here on this channel for pumpkin soup. So it's pretty much that. I added a piece of ginger and a few carrots. So I'll link the video down below. It's so lovely. And I find that soups are amazing if you are dealing with gastritis. So I've been eating for the first few months just soups for dinner, thick soups. And whenever I felt like I needed something extra, I would cut in a few pieces of tempeh. And that would be my favorite tempeh. So this one is made of black beans with tamari sauce. It's just so lovely. And that is what I'm gonna have after I eat my soup. So I'm gonna cook a few potatoes. I'm gonna mash them. And then I will roast a few of these brown mushrooms with half of the tempeh chopped in pieces. And that will be my dinner. Tempeh is amazing for gastritis because it's one of the meat replacements that's not so processed, or like not processed pretty much at all. It's no junk food, and it's also a great protein source, and that's what I've been eating for the last I'd say like 6 months at the most. After dinner I took a shower and brushed through hair grit. I definitely have to wash my hair tomorrow because it started itching. So I need to film for you guys an updated hair care routine, because once a week is just not working for me anymore, like washing my hair once a week. Oh, and I also freaked out a little bit. So there's this online thrift shop where I'm selling some of my stuff, and I sold a bunch of stuff to one person. And I couldn't remember where I put the stuff, but fortunately I found it, and that gave me the necessary kick in my ass. So I decided tomorrow I'll do a little closet purge so that everything's gonna be a little bit more organized once again. But that's gonna be it for today. So you've seen what I've eaten today. I think I'm gonna make myself the rooibos tea that I had for breakfast now. And that's gonna be it. So let me know if you have any questions about the meals or about gastritis diet in general. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys very much. God bless you and see you soon. Bye.